Punk 4 is talking to Cypher Pole, where he appreciates their effort of coming there specially to return Seraphim. But he tells them that S-Bear can make its own way there. He regrets to inform them that he cannot meet them in person as he has been very busy lately. Punk 4 requests CP0 agents to order the Seraphim to return to the island, and then they can consider their mission as complete. He thanks them for the hard work and their efforts. Cypher Paul is sailing in the sea surrounded by sea beasts. The CP0 agents, hearing Punk 4's words, mention that it is really not a warm welcome. Lucci muses that maybe Punk 4 and others are suspicious of their visit at the Vegapunk lab. One of the CP0 agents exclaim that they have traveled a long journey and can't they just offer them a tea. Punk 4, on the other hand, exclaims that G14 is not too far, and they will surely give me a great reception. Lucci talks to Vegapunk 4. He asks them what he had to say about all the recent disappearances at Egghead. Punk 4 asks him what does he mean by disappearances. Lucci tells him that 2 months ago, a CP5 vessel went missing. A month later, after its CP7 ship vanished, and just 2 weeks back, same thing happened with a CP8 ship. The question that Lucci is trying to ask Vegapunk, that why has not a single government ship made it back after visiting Egghead in the last 2 months? Punk 4 replies that how can it be possible because they are sure that they saw the ships depart safely from there. Lilith rages in anger and exclaims that what is he trying to say? Is he saying that they sunk those ships? Punk 4 asks her to calm down and not antagonize them. But Lilith is adamant that they should let them come to the dock so that they can see themselves. But Punk 4 exclaims that they cannot let them in, and they must return from there. Lucci acknowledges them, saying that he understood, but obviously, he will not be returning so easily. The CP0 agents ask Lucci what they are going to do next. Lucci tells them to abandon the ship. They will infiltrate the dock by using S-Bear's ability, as even if they directly try to attack and assault them, they will eventually die as the sea beasts will make the ship their meal anyway. All the CP0 agents understand Lucci. The scene shifts to Grand Line where Kuma has escaped and everyone is calling Kuma to stop and wait. Kuma is running with all his might while he is panting roughly. He then raises his palm and launches a move, and in the next moment, he vanishes. Dragon exclaims that where did Kuma go? The scene shifts to Junkyard, Egghead. Luffy asks that why Vegapunk wants to leave with them. Is not Punk Records his own lab? Is he not attached to his lab? Vegapunk replies that it is his lab and he is attached to it, and up till now he has been happy to spend every penny the government has given to fund his research. New ideas continue to pour out of him, but unfortunately, he is still limited by time, money, and manpower. He exclaims that he wishes to change the world with science. He reveals his big mission, which is his ultimate dream, that is to make a world where free energy is available to all. Luffy contemplates what he is trying to say and exclaims that he basically wants to do a sort of giveaway where free stuff would be available to everyone. Jinbei exclaims the nations often wage war over the natural resources they need to generate energy. Vegapunk exclaims that if he would say precisely, he believes people can be so short-sighted. If they would only open their eyes, there is energy all around them. The world is teeming with energy. If that raw power can be converted to a more apparent and accessible form, they would never see another conflict spark up over it again. Vegapunk excitedly says that science will make that possible someday. Luffy remains silent, which makes Vegapunk feel that he still doesn't care. But the Luffy speaks up and exclaims that it is great he wants to make people happy, but he has got no interest in being a hero, though. Luffy then asks him why he wants to leave from there. Vegapunk replies that his quest to further his understanding of energy led him to investigating the ancient fuel that powered the mechanical soldier. He tells Luffy that his curious nature as a scientist compelled him to take a peek, and he imagined how much they will learn if that forbidden thread of history is unraveled. After a dear friend of his died, he found himself even deeper into that abyss to further his friend's will. Here Vegapunk is talking about his dear friend Professor Clover. At that moment, a big blast happens at some distance behind Jinbei. Jinbei and Luffy are in shock at what just happened and are not able to understand who did this, but Vegapunk knows the people behind the blast. Vegapunk exclaims that if he combines it all, He would say that he knows too much, and for that reason, the government wants to erase him just like it erased O'Hara. Vegapunk then exclaims that the mind behind the blast must be CP0 agents. Luffy repeats the word zero, unaware of who they are. Vegapunk tells them that CP0 are the direct subordinates of the Celestial Dragons. Luffy, who knew them by the name of CP9, asks him that was not their name, CP9. Jinbei exclaims that CP0 is a division that stands above the rest, and they say that their members have historically been harbingers of catastrophe. Meanwhile, the CP0 agents have reached the island. People at Vegapunk are shocked to see them. One exclaims that, "Don't CP0 agent wear black suits?" Another says that why didn't they come through the normal port? One of them says that 2 weaponized sea beasts were taken out near the coast. Hearing this, a sudden realization hits them that are they intruders? Meanwhile, Punk 4 tells Shaka that the CP0 agents are on the island. Shaka asks him that how they managed to bypass the port. Usopp and Nami are frightened. Nami calls Lucci the worst and warns him to stay away. Punk 4 tells then that the agents must have realized that rejecting their request would inevitably result in the sea beasts consuming their ship. Therefore, they used intelligence and tricked the sea beasts by abandoning their boat and using Seraphim's paw-paw powers to land on island instead. Shaka exclaims that they even abandoned their ship and used Esber's powers, which shows their resolve to fight, and therefore now they are with no other choice. Shaka orders them to evacuate the researchers and workers. He tells Atlas to make her way back to the lab. He then commands them to prepare the Seraphim as they would be deploying S-Snake, S-Hawk, and S-Shark, and he tells them to give the command of Seraphims to Sentomaru. In the end, he says the word Roger. The scene shifts to Luffy's group where Vegapunk asks him that will he take him out to sea. Vegapunk says that it won't take long for him to pack his stuff. Luffy exclaims that they are not going on a field trip. Jinbei says that his sudden disappearance would definitely qualify as a catastrophe. Luffy, after a while, allows Vegapunk to come with them on the ship. Vegapunk replies, "Then let's hurry as this place will soon be a battlefield." He then asks Luffy to bring Bonnie with him to Lab Stratum above the clouds. After that, in an instant, Vegapunk starts disappearing, saying that let's meet up there. Luffy and Chopper are shocked to see this, and the next moment he vanishes. Luffy exclaims that the futuristic tech is missing with his head. The scene shifts to CP0 agents, who are confronted with giant monsters. They are trying to hit the monsters and save themselves, but suddenly they realize that their guns are not working, which mean their attacks are futile as the monsters are not getting harmed by it. Kaku, a CP0 member, exclaims that he always wanted to take a swing at an unworldly beast like this. Considering it a genuine space monster, Kaku charges it with his Tempest Kick, but at that moment, a girl interrupts him saying that he doesn't need to bother. The girl is Stussy, who tells them that they are not actual monsters but merely holograms, to which they are annoyed that why did not she told it earlier? Lucci calls her well-versed. After that, Kaku exclaims that he is going to take a look above the clouds. Maybe Vegapunk would be up there. As he leaps upward, Stussy asks him that can he see the 2 lines on the cloud? Kaku affirms, saying yes. Stussy tells them that when an enemy target crosses those lines, she pauses for a while. Kaku crosses the lines. A beep sound is heard, and the next moment a blast happens. Stussy then completes her sentence, saying that a laser beam is triggered to neutralize the threat. It is a different system that covers the entire lab stratum, and they call it the Frontier Dome. Everyone cries out Kaku. Stussy then exclaims that the moral of this story is, it is unwise to underestimate the world's greatest scientist. Lucci tells her that she should have mentioned it beforehand. Lucci then praises Stussy. After that, Atlas is seen running. She exclaims that who has done the blast, as she is the only one allowed to rampage on Egghead. Stussy recognizes Atlas and exclaims that she is one of the Vegapunks. Shaka tries stopping Atlas, telling her that she cannot stand a chance against the CP0 agents, but she doesn't stop. Reaching near the CP0 agents, she is about to launch her ultra-mighty punch attack. Lucci, however, exclaims that this is not a game and transforms himself into his Black Panther skin and launches 6 King Pistol attack at her. Everyone cries out, Dr. Atlas and finds out that Lucci is showing no mercy. Following the shockwave attack, cracks can be seen on Atlas's face. Lucci doesn't stop there and keep punching Atlas's face. Everyone is terrified seeing this, and then Atlas is knocked off to the ground. Meanwhile, the researchers and workers at Vegapunk Lab are evacuating and retreating following Shaka's orders, as they are under an attack. Atlas, who is bashed to the floor, is in a bad condition. Lucci comes closer to her and finds out that she is still breathing. Meanwhile, Luffy and his group are preparing to head to the top using vacuum rocket thing. But they come face to face with Lucci. Lucci and Luffy both look directly into each other's eyes, recognizing each other as StrawHat and Pigeon Guy, respectively. Is this a fateful reunion?